Hi, everyone. Have you ever made a crafty mistake only to find later that it's a thing? Well, that's what happened to me. And I want to share something that I made that I think is just so beautiful as I was inspired by a dear Yarny friend by the name of Jay over at Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam. If you have not checked out her channel yet, what are you waiting for? Let's chat and share what I made as inspired by Jay. All right? Hang on for a second. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Crafts and More. I'm Katrina. If this is your first time checking out my channel, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you just hanging out with me for a bit. So, hi, everyone. More recently, a dear Yarny friend by the name of Jay over at Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam came out with a very beautiful and easy to follow knit tutorial for a Mobius scarf. It is just beautiful and it has a lace element to it, and she takes you step by step through it, and it's actually freestyled. I was so inspired. I dropped what I was working on and went ahead and grabbed my needles and got to working on it. But I didn't just make one thing, I actually made two because my crochet is a lot faster than my knit. And I made a crocheted version to share with you. Have you ever made a Mobius before, or sometimes known as an infinity? Well, if you haven't, let's just chat for a minute and just talk about what exactly it is. Well, of course, when you're talking about infinity, it goes from a range of very, very small to very, very large, right? And so that's what happens when you are working on an infinity scarf or a Mobius scarf. However, many times the construction of these types of items is such that they are made flat and then they are twisted on purpose 180 degrees and then connected to create the Mobius or figure eight style of um, item. All right. But in this case, that's not what's done. What's done here is you make the twist early on and you go ahead and you're working from the middle to the outer portions because you're constantly going like this. And you don't feel like you're doing it like that because of the width of the item that you're working on, but you really are. And your results are just awesome. So if you haven't checked out Jay over at Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam, what are you waiting for? Please go check her out and subscribe to her channel. Set your notifications to all so that whenever she comes up with a new video, you'll be inspired just like I was. All right. So this time I have completely finished it. The only thing I have not done is woven in my ends. Now, I did say that I worked on not one, but two things. And so I'm going to share with you the crochet thing first. All right. So the first item is crocheted and it is also a Mobius or an infinity, right? And it was made in a very similar fashion. All right. So now this one was made with acrylic yarn that I had in my stash, and it's actually a variegated yarn. And I think it turned out just beautifully. All right. So let's take a look at the photo of my Mobius wrap here. Isn't it beautiful? I think it came out great. And I was able to make this one quickly. Now, this one works up quickly because you are making it with open work. It's an open mesh type of stitch. And so that helps you to work it up, fairly quickly. All right. And I probably could have done one that's a little bit more dense fabric, but I wanted something that could be used maybe just to knock the chill off, something to put over your shoulders, give you a nice hug, or something that you could use around your neck. So this has a lot of stretch to it because of the mesh fabric that is produced by it. And I think can be used for multiple purposes. All right. So let's take a look at it in real time. All right, so here it is. Isn't this beautiful? And you see where the twist is. All right, so now let's look at the back of it here. All right, you can see how this one is straight. And then when you have it here, then it automatically twists. So this is made in a continuous round. So there's not really a top or a bottom to it the way it is made. And like I said, I haven't completely woven anything in. So you can see it is made from the middle here. And then you're working on the top and the bottom at the same time. And then you end up with the edges are your outer portion before you finish it off and weave in your ends. All right. So beautiful. I love it. And again, I think this can be made um, to be worn in lots of different ways. All right. Okay. So I think it's beautiful. You guys let me know what you think. Okay. So now the knit version. All right. So for the crocheted version, I used a 5.5 millimeter hook and worsted weight yarn that I had in my stash. All right. And I didn't have a label on it. So it's probably something, just very similar to a basic um, worsted weight yarn. Okay. All right. So now the one that I made that was knit that I'm just really thrilled with the way it came out. This one is a Mobius lacy scarf that is freestyled, according to Jay, over at Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam. Please go check this video out. I'm going to link it in the description box below. And I really am happy with the way it came out. I did put on a community tab my progress as I was working on it over the last couple of days. All right, so it really did not take me that long to make this one. And I just took a few hours each day to work on it, and it came out just great. The yarn that I used on it, well, hold on, before I do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the photo of the finished item. I think it is beautiful, don't you? All right, so now let's talk about the yarn. The yarn that I used was Big Twist Twinkle, and it is, I believe, the teal color, and I think it's just so awesome. All right, easy to work with. I used a set of 4.5 millimeter circular needles for this. I used wooden needles because there are some yarn overs in it because of the eyelet, and because I wanted to be able to hold on to the stitches a little bit better, I went ahead and used bamboo needles. And I used 36-inch cable needles for it. And I'm just, again, just happy with the way it came out. All right, so let's take a look at it in real time. Look at this, guys. Isn't this beautiful? Okay, so if you look at the way it came out, I have not blocked it, all right? So it starts actually in the middle, all right? And you are, doing it round by round in a Mobius fashion. And so the way it looks when you finish it, one half of it is going to be in stockinette, and then the other half is going to be reverse stockinette because of the way the Mobius is put together. All right. So I did add some eyelets to mine, and I actually did 3 rounds of eyelets. So this stitch pattern here took up about 6 rounds to do. And you can see how it works up on the stockinette side, and it works up nicely also on the reverse stockinette side. So I think it is beautiful. Again, that was 6 rounds for me to do that because I did the eyelet and then a plain round in between for each one of these. And I did 3 separate rounds of the eyelet section. All right. Then I went ahead and added on just plain stockinette. So stockinette here, and then on the other side, and then I did my 1 by 1 rib for the ending. I am just so happy with the way this came out. When I went ahead and measured it out, it measures out to about 24 inches around without it being blocked. Um, and stretched. All right. So it's probably wider than that. But you can't tell when you're working on the actual item, you can't tell how wide it's going to be. And I guess that's the beauty of it. It's not until you do your cast off that you realize exactly how wide it's going to be. But I think that because of the way we do this item, your cable needle is going to kind of dictate about how wide it's going to ultimately be, because when you do your cast on, you cast on enough stitches until it gets all the way back around. All right. So I hope that helps. After you watch Jay's video, you will understand what that means. But I'm so happy with the way it came out, and I just love it. I'm going to try it on. And even though it is not blocked, I'm going to do a second round, but you don't have to do a second round for this. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of do that for mine. And again, you can see where I left it because I haven't woven in my ends, but look at that. Okay, this is where it started. And this is where it ended. All right. Okay, so let's turn it a little bit so I can kind of show it on. Look at that. Isn't that just awesome? I love the way it's showing both, and I love the feel of it and how it goes. This is versatile, so you can wear it long and just have it with its natural twist, or you can double it up or what have you, and just have just something beautiful. And because I added the sparkles, it adds an extra touch. So, again, sometimes a mistake such as the one that I did when I was first learning how to knit, I went ahead and frogged it. But this one, I didn't have to frog it because I was doing it on purpose, making a Mobius knit scarf. So, have you ever made a Mobius or an Infinity? And if you did you make it from the center out or did you make it flat and twisted? Either way, you're being creative and crafty, so I would love to hear about it. Please leave me a comment. If you haven't already, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to my channel, set those notifications to all so whenever I do a video, you will get notified. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. So until then, please do everything you can to be mindful, do everything you can to be at your best health, and by all means, continue to be crafty every day. Share your gifts, be inspiring and inspired. I look forward to seeing you again in one of my videos or one of yours. Bye-bye now.